2,000 and some days. You know what? Who cares? Ohio State has beaten Michigan for the first time in over 2,000 days. The streak is over. The rivalry winning streak has flipped to a new one. The lasting image of this game will be Ohio State in the stands celebrating with the fans while all the Michigan players wanted to do was protect the block M. Ohio State 27, Michigan 9. The Wolverines did not get in the end zone. They did not win the rushing battle. And Ohio State, might I say, Mick, smashed Michigan in the big house. An emphatic win, 27-9. Ohio State over Michigan. The Buckeyes are going to Indy. Michigan's going to a bowl game.
And let's be clear to begin with. Jermaine Matthews and Brandon Ennis, the two suspects that you would most likely suspect, walked over to the section where the cheerleaders were and asked for a flag. They were promptly told no, which was coordinated and worked out from the beginning. I don't think Ryan Day wanted any part of that. Or what Ryan Day wanted is when he walked out of this tunnel around 11 o'clock, he looked in that direction, gave a little sly smile. Our colleague Jordan Burnham has a picture of it. And then about 4 hours later here, he walks back down this tunnel, his two hands in the air, fist bumping, because he knew he had got it done. He's 2-0, not 2-0. He's now won two games in the rivalry, both of them here in Ann Arbor. Like you said, snaps the streak. Defense dominated. The offense, I think Carnell Tate's doing pretty good. I don't know. I didn't check with him after the game. I think he's doing pretty good. I think Jeremiah Smith's doing pretty good. And, Julian Sain with the Fernando Mendoza route. He threw an interception, came back, said, you know what, I'll throw a couple touchdowns, create my own adversity. Heisman moment. There you go for the Heisman voters.
It was emphatic. It was an incredible win for the Buckeyes. Julian Sain throws an interception to begin the game. Then Michigan goes down and gets two quick field goals. It's 6-0, and we say, oh, no, here we go again. Then all of a sudden, the Buckeyes begin to run the ball, and the Buckeyes begin to throw it over Michigan's head.
Who won the rushing battle, Spencer?
Ohio State won the rushing battle. The winning team in this game has won the rushing battle 24 straight times. It is a ironclad stat at this point, it seems like. Maybe my favorite stat from the entire game is that Michigan had 108 rushing yards in the first half and finished the day with 100 rushing yards. So they lost 8 yards rushing in the second half. That is as emphatic, and I'll use this word over and over again. It's going to be one of the themes of the day. It's as cathartic of a win as possible. If you see behind me, as you can see here, I'll go weatherman, there is snow on the ground. This had all the makings of 2021. The Buckeyes made early mistakes. Michigan was in the all-maze. There were some real flashbacks here, and this crowd could sense that. The second half has been where Ohio State has lost this game over and over again.
Sonny Styles said it himself in the press conference.
Today was just different. The Buckeyes put their foot down in the snow, and they said no more. And they stopped the run over and over again in the second half. They ran the ball over and over again in the second half. A 20-play, 81-yard drive that featured 71 of those yards on the ground.
Everybody got involved. Bo Jackson, C.J. Donaldson, Isaiah West. Julian Sain had a carry on that drive, right?
Yeah. But I think it was as impressive on the ground as it was through the air. But through the air was awesome for Julian Sain because he played in the snow. He said, hey, this is kind of fun. After the game, he called it fun. So his first snow game, he kind of aced it. He found Carnell Tate for a touchdown. He found Brandon Ennis for a touchdown. He found Jeremiah Smith for a touchdown. I talked about it a little bit in the offensive first thoughts. That's a three-headed monster that we've been waiting on all year, and those are the three touchdowns that Julian Sain threw, one to each of those guys. Carnell's was a 50-yard bomb where he was wide open. Nobody was covering
Forking him.
Jeremiah's was on fourth down, just an absolute nails throw by Julian Sain, one of the best throws of the season for him. Brandon Ennis's was on a rub route that was well executed.
Timeout, I posted on the Lettermen Lounge message board. It was Ryan Day, Julian Sain, and Brandon Ennis, all their kind of little coats talking during the timeout, and he was working through them, even kind of gesturing on his hand, came out, one play, boom. That's what took place.
Yeah, I mean, the Buckeyes won the middle eight, they won the rushing battle, they won the throwing battle, they won the time, they nearly doubled up the time of possession. It was emphatic in every way, and I think that's the key here is, catharsis and a cathartic effort for Ohio State and an emphatic win on this field. And again, I say it again, the idea and the image of Ohio State sitting up on the brick wall, celebrating a win after this game, and Michigan watching as they protected the Block M, that is an image that lives in rivalries. The image of the flag at midfield last year, to the Michigan's credit last year, lives in the rivalry now. It is permanent in the rivalry. That image now is permanent in the rivalry, and it's as great of an image for Ohio State as you could possibly have because this place was full of scarlet, doing the OHIO around this place in the fourth quarter.
Pretty empty in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was, again, I hate to keep saying it, but just emphatic and cathartic in every possible way, Mick. But here we go. We've talked to just random grab bag of things. This defensive performance, Mick, was one for the ages, in my opinion. It's the first time Ohio State has held Michigan out of the end zone since a 14-3 win in 2007. Ohio State obviously wins the rushing battle here, holding Michigan to -8 yards rushing in the second half. Bryce Underwood, under 100 yards passing in this game. Andrew Marsh, 0 catches on 0 targets. Just this defensive performance was insane and incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I put my crown on myself there because I believe I take the regular season bold predictions crown for now. I nailed the Bryce Underwood under 100 passing yards. Should have had Julian Sand rushing touchdown. I probably shouldn't have. That he was down, but
yeah.
C.J. Donaldson got through the previous play, so I thought there was going to be a ball don't lie type of moment. They were going to give it to him, but yeah, this defense, they got a couple of big gains on those opening drives. Obviously, the Michigan is a good run game. They're going to get some, but when you got through to Ohio State's defense, Arvell Reese flying around, Sonny Styles flying around, that defensive line just dominating. There was nothing really they had that could come available. And we talked about Bryce Underwood there. The last thing I want to say about really this whole game, because we'll get out of here and give this camera back to Austin and Burn thing.
We also have to get home because of the snow. It's not going to stop falling.
But Julian Sand, it was funny, he got off the bus this morning and there wasn't snowing yet, but it was still a little brisk. He kind of breathed in the air a little bit and let out a sly smirk and then goes on the field. And to all our friends in the fort that were worried about Julian Sand playing in the snow in the cold, Ohio State doing that, I think he was fine. Love you guys. Happy holidays.
Yeah, it's a great time for the Ohio State fans who made the trip here. Safe travels to everybody getting home. It was a great time for Ryan Day and the Buckeyes in this building. It's the second time they've celebrated in this building. It's the second time they've celebrated in this building under Ryan Day to get to 12-0. And now everything is ahead for this team. It now goes in an undefeated matchup against Indiana, number 1 versus number 2, in Indianapolis next Saturday. We will be there in full force for Lettermen Row. It's now on to the college football playoff. They've already clinched that, obviously. But I think the first round bye is now in hand no matter what. So you're probably not going to see this team again until New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. It is on to a potential run to a second straight national championship. But none of that was possible unless this team got through this game. And the last thing I will say is the mental gymnastics that Ohio State has had to try in this game for the last 4 years has been taxing on all of them. Trying to get back up from being knocked down so many times. In 21, it was literally getting bowled over. In 22, it was just haymaker after haymaker from both teams. And then Michigan started popping some. In 23, again in this building, haymaker after haymaker from both teams, and Michigan just came out on the winning side in the final seconds. 24 was all sorts of messed up and getting back in so many ways up off the mat from there. This team went down 6-0, but this team went down 6-0 in an embarrassing fashion. And for them to get back up off the mat and have the mental fortitude to come back and completely dominate this game, 27-3 after that, I cannot say enough about this Ohio State team. The mental strength and the physical strength. They dominated Michigan on their home field in front of 110,000 people. It is as good of a win for Ryan Day as he will ever get because of what this means to him, what it means to his players, and what it means to Buckeye Nation. Buckeye Nation, we're coming back to Columbus before we head to Indy next weekend. That is Mick Walker. I am Spencer Holbrook. Ohio State 27, Michigan 9. The streak is over. Get out your best bourbon. Get out your
and head over to Lettermen Row. You get 50% off right now.
I'm getting there, man. Get out your best bourbon. Get out your best cigars. And come hang out with us in the Lettermen Lounge. Come celebrate with us in style. 50% off right now. Part of the Black Friday extended deal. Ohio State is 12-0 and going to the college football playoff and going to Indianapolis for a chance at the Big Ten championship. Lettermen Row will be there every step of the way. For Mick Walker, I'm just Spencer Holbrook. Say a little T's and P's for us to get home safely. We'll see you guys back in Columbus, and we'll see you over at lettermenrow.com.